Good day, everyone. I am Miss Jonah, and I will be discussing the simple and compound interest. First, let's unlock the definitions. Simple interest means is a method to calculate the amount of interest charged on a sum at a given rate and for a given period of time. Compound interest is the interest calculated on the initial principal that includes all of the accumulated interest of previous periods of a deposit or loan. It is the result of reinvesting interest rather than paying it out. So what is the difference between simple and compound interest? Ang simple interest is based on the principal amount of loan or deposit, while the compound interest is based on the principal and interest. So that is the difference between the two. Now, let's proceed with the solving for the simple interest. The formula for simple interest is I equals P times R times T, where I is the simple interest, P is the principal or the amount borrowed, deposited, R is the simple interest rate, and T is the term or time in years. So we have 3 steps in solving for the simple interest. Step 1 is identifying the given values. Step 2, apply the formula. And step 3, simplify using GEMDAS. For example number 1, a bank offers 10% annual simple interest rate for a 500,000 pesos deposit. How much interest will be earned after 3 years? So first, let's have the step 1. So again, what is the step 1? Step 1 is identifying the given. So ano ba yung mga given sa example number 1? So una is the 10%. So ano ba tong 10% na to? Ito po yung ating rate. So our rate is 10%. So remember that yung rate is always converted into decimal. So 10%, kapag kinonvert natin into decimal, ay magiging 0.10 or 0.1. Alin man doon sa dalawa. Next, we have here 500,000 pesos. So 500,000 pesos is ito yung dineposit or yung ide-deposit. Ano tong 500,000 pesos na to? That will be your principal. So remember, principal is the amount you borrowed or deposited. 500,000 pesos. And next is the 3 years. So this one is pertaining to time or term. So T is equal to 3 years. So we have the given rate, 0.10, principal, 500,000, and time, which is 3 years. Now, ano yung hinahanap or ano yung nawawala? Sabi dito, how much interest will be earned after 3 years? So, meron tayong rate, meron tayong principal, at meron tayong time. So, dito sa apat, alin yung missing? So, ang missing natin is yung interest. So, ito yung kailangan nating hanapin. As you can see, we have here a pyramid. So, this one, a pyramid. So, ma'am, ano po ang gagawin namin sa pyramid na yan? Okay? Itong pyramid na ito, para mas madali nyong mahanap or malaman yung formula, pwede nyong gamitin itong pyramid. So, paano ba? Okay? So kung ano yung nawawala, so dito may rate tayo, may principal, may time, ang nawawala ay yung interest. So kung ano yung nawawala, yun yung takpan ninyo. So takpan natin yung interest since siya yung hinahanap natin. Ang natira na lang ay yung principal, yung rate, at yung time. So, ang gagawin po natin dyan, ito kasing vertical line, it symbolizes multiplication. While the horizontal line symbolizes division. So, dahil P, R, and T yung natitira at vertical line to, so we are just going to multiply the principal, rate, and time to each other. So, step number 2 is apply the formula. So, ma'am, ano na yung magiging formula namin? So, dahil interest yung nawawala or yung hinahanap natin, ang formula natin ay magiging interest is equal to, ano ba yung mga natira? P times R times T. So, multiplication po. So, principal times rate times time. Now, for step number 3. So, ano po ang step number 3 natin? Step number 3 is simplify using GEMDAS. So, dahil lahat lang naman to ay multiplication, so no problem. Multiply lang natin si principal, si rate, at si time to each other. So, substitute na natin yung given doon sa formula. I is equal to, what is your principal? 500,000 pesos. Next, what is the rate? 0.10. And the time, 3 years. So, multiply lang natin sila. 500,000 times 0.10 times 3. You can use calculator, scientific calculator. Also, you can use the traditional way, which is the pen and paper, magsasagot sa papel. Or if kaya nyong i-mental, gamit lang ng isip, kung ano yung preferred ninyo. Okay? So, for this one, 500,000 times 0.10 times 3, the final answer or the interest is 150,000 pesos. So sabi, yung interest na ma-earn niya after 3 years is 150,000 kapag nag-deposit siya ng 500,000 with the annual simple interest rate of 10%. So ganito yung magiging interest, 150,000 pesos. So for next example, if a business owner applies for a loan amounting to 620,000 in a bank, the simple interest of which is 58,000 pesos for 6 months. What interest rate is being charged? Okay, so sabi dito sa example number 2, yung business owner daw ay nag-apply ng loan na 620,000 pesos sa bangko. At ang simple interest nun ay 58,000 for 6 months. What interest rate is being charged? So step number 1, ano po yung step number 1 natin? Is identify the given. So, identify natin yung given. So, ang given natin, una, yung 620,000. Ano ba yan si 620,000? Okay, basahin ulit natin. So, yung business owner ay nag-apply ng loan amounting to 620,000. So, ibig sabihin, yaan yung principal. So, principal is equal to 620,000 kasi yan yung amount of money na niloan niya. Next, sabi dito ay may 58,000. So ano naman tong 58,000 na to? Ayan sabi, the simple interest of which, yung 620,000 daw, ay 58,000. So ibig sabihin, itong 58,000, siya yung ating interest. Ayan po. Nakikita or nakita natin, nakalagay doon sa problem. So, 58,000 pesos. Next one. Ito namang 6 months. So, what is the 6 months? It is the time or term. 6 months. Now, ang sabi kasi dito sa term ay in years. So, dapat in terms of years siya. Ang nakalagay sa problem natin is months. So, ano po ang gagawin natin doon? Ang gagawin natin doon ay i-convert yung months into years. The question is, ilang buwan ba meron sa isang taon? Okay, 12 months. So, ibig sabihin, 6 over 12. Okay, so dahil 6 months siya i-convert into years, meron tayong 12 months sa isang taon, 6 over 12. Ma'am, paano naman po kapag 4 months? For example lang po, ma'am. Paano po kapag 4 months? Okay, kapag 4 months, 4 over 12. Ma'am, paano po kapag 8 months? Pag 8 months, 8 over 12. Ma'am, paano po kapag 5 months? 5 over 12. So, i-convert lang natin siya into years. Again, kapag months, i-convert sa years. So, meron na tayong principal, meron tayong interest, at meron tayong time. Ano yung missing natin? Okay, ang missing natin is the simple interest rate. So, yun yung hinahanap, the rate. Now, for step number 2, apply the formula. So, what will be our formula? So, tingin ulit tayo dito sa pyramid. So, again, kung ano yung hinahanap or the missing one, tatakpan natin siya. So, takpan natin yung rate. Ano yung matitira? Ang matitira na lang is interest divided by principal times time. So, our formula, dahil rate yung hinahanap natin, rate is equal to the interest over principal times time. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung bago nating formula. Now, step number 3. Step number 3 is simplify using the GEMDAS. So, ang gagawin po natin ay i-substitute yung given doon sa formula, then i-simplify natin siya. So, rate is equal to, ano yung interest natin? 58,000 pesos. Next, ano yung principal? 620,000. Ano yung time? 6 over 12. Next. So, dahil we are going to use the GEMDAS, unahin natin yung nasa denominator, 620,000 divided, multiply rather, to 6/12. So, copy lang ulit natin yung 58,000. 58,000. So, 620,000 times 6/12. What is the answer? The answer is 310,000 pesos. 310,000 pesos. Now, ang susunod niyan ay pwede na nating i-divide. So, dito natin ilagay. Continuation. Pwede na nating i-divide. So, our rate is equal to 58,000 divided by 310,000. The answer is 0.187. So, kumuha lang ako ng 3 decimal places. 0.187. Ma'am, tapos na po ba? Yan na po ba yung rate natin? 0.187? So, no po. Hindi pa po tayo tapos. Remember, rate yung hinahanap natin. Ang rate is naka-percentage. So, anong gagawin natin para ma-convert naman yung decimal into percentage? Multiply by 100. Ma'am, always po ba naming i-multiply sa 100? Yes po, para mahanap si percentage. So, 0.187 multiplied by 100. The answer is 18.7. Siyempre, huwag kalimutan yung symbol na percent. So, our rate is 18.7%. That is the final answer. So, ibig sabihin, yung interest rate na charge ng bank is 18.7%. So, that is the final answer for example number 2. Let's move forward to example number 3. So, in this one, we have here the maturity, the formula for maturity or future value. So, find the maturity value if Angel deposited 870,000 in a bank at an annual simple interest rate of 2% after 6 months. So, step number 1 is identify the given. So, ano ba yung given na meron tayo? Una is the 870,000 pesos. So, it is our principal. Principal is 870,000 pesos. Next is the 2%. So, alam natin na ang rate ay 2% or 0.02 kapag kinonvert natin into decimal. And for the time is, kung mapapansin nyo, naka 6 months, in terms of months ulit siya. So, ano ang gagawin natin? Convert it into years. So, 6/12. Okay, so now for step number 2, apply the formula. Ano ba yung formula natin? Future value is equal to the principal times 1 plus rate times time. Step number 3. In step number 3, ano po ang gagawin natin? Simplify using GEMDAS. So, substitute muna natin yung given na meron tayo. So, future value, ang principal natin ay 870,000. 1 plus, ano ang rate? 0.02. Ano ang time? Ang time natin ay 6/12. Yan. So, GEMDAS. Ano ang mauuna? Yung nasa loob ng bracket. So, itong parenthesis. So, ito muna yung mauuna. So, 0.02 times 6/12. What is the answer? The answer is 0.01. So, copy muna natin to. 870,000 times 1 plus 0.01. Next. Ano na yung susunod natin? Itong nasa parenthesis. So, 1 plus 0.01. So, ito po ha. Ito na yung next. 1 plus 0.01. So, copy natin itong 870,000. 1 plus 0.01 is 1.01. So, our last one is 870,000 times 1.01. Ano po yung sagot? The answer is 8,700 pesos. So, 8,700 pesos. Yung future value. Ayan. So, syempre, find the maturity value if Angel deposited 870,000 in a bank at an annual simple interest rate of 2% after 6 months. So, syempre, ang gagawin natin dyan ay i-add lang yung nakuha nating interest na 8,700 plus the 870,000. So, 870,000 plus 8,700 is, for the final answer, dito ko na isulat. Ayan, for the final answer, 878,700 pesos. So, ayan. So, that's it for example number 3. Now, let's proceed to another one. So, here is the steps in solving compound interest. So, same lang sa pag-solve ng simple interest. So, step 1, identify the given. Step 2, apply the formula. Step 3, simplify using GEMDAS. So, let's proceed in example number 1. So, we have future value and present value. So for the future value or the maturity value ng compound interest, we have the formula of future value is equal to the principal times 1 plus rate raised to time minus 1, where F is the future value, P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. So example number 1, Lana takes a 4-year loan of 150,000 pesos at an interest rate of 2% that compounds annually. What will be the amount of interest? So first, step number 1, identify the given. So ano yung mga given na meron tayo? Una is the 4-year or yung time. 4 years. Next, 150,000. So sila na ay nag-loan ng 150,000 pesos. Therefore, it is our principal. So 150,000 pesos. And for the last one is our rate, 2%. So again, in decimal, 0.02. So what would be the amount of interest? So step number 2, apply the formula. So the formula is future value is equal to principal times 1 plus rate raised to time minus 1. Step 3, simplify using GEMDAS. So, syempre, we are going to substitute the given doon sa formula. So, ano ba yung principal natin? 150,000 times 1 plus, ano yung rate? 0.02. Raised to time, ano ba yung time? 4 years. Minus 1. So, using GEMDAS, syempre, yung nasa loob ng bracket. Ay, ito po. Ito yung una nating isosolve. So, 1 plus 0.02. So, opehin lang natin muna yung 150,000. So, 1 plus 0.02, ang sagot ay 1.02. So, 1.02, syempre yung raised to 4 minus 1. So, next is yung exponent naman. 150,000. So, 1.02 raised to 4. Mahaba-haba ito. 1.08 to 43216 minus 1. Don't forget. And then, ano na po yung next natin? Next natin ay yung nasa loob pa rin ng parenthesis. Ipag-minus natin silang dalawa. So, the answer is, copy the 150,000 times 0.08243216. Ayan, malapit na. So, last step. Dito ko na lang para masusundan pa rin. So, for the last step, the future value is equal to 150,000 times 0.08243216. Final answer is 12,364.824. So, yung interest ay 12,364.824. So that would be the final answer for example number 1. Okay, now we have the present value. So, meron tayong dalawang formula for the present value. So, kahit ano po dyan, kahit number 1 or number 2, yung gamitin niyo, no problem. Because mag-a-arrive pa rin naman tayo sa same answer. So, our first formula, ito yung first formula, ito yung second. So, kahit alin dyan, pwede po. So, present value is equal to the future value over 1 plus rate raised to time. Or pwede rin naman na present value is equal to the future value times 1 plus rate raised to -1. Where F is the future value, PV is the present value, R is the rate, and T is the time. So for example number 2, what is the present value of 35,000 due in 10 years if money is worth 5% compounded annually? So intindihin natin yung problem. So ang tanong, ano daw yung magiging present value ng 35,000 due in 10 years that yung interest rate niya is 5%. So, ang hinahanap natin yung present value, yung ngayong value. So, step number 1. Step number 1 is given. So, 35,000. So, itong 35,000, ano ba yan? Ano ba yung 35,000 pesos na yan? That is our future value. Yan yung future value. Kasi remember, hinahanap natin yung present value. Yung ngayon, yung amount niya ngayon. So, future value is 35,000 pesos. Next, 10 years. So, syempre, ito yung time. 10 years. 5% siya yung rate natin. Or in decimal, 0.05. Step 2, apply the formula. So, for this one, ang gagamitin kong formula ay yung formula, yung pangalawang formula. So, kung saan kayo comfortable, yun ang gamitin nyo kasi mag-a-arrive rin naman tayo sa same answer. So, present value is equal to the future value times 1 plus R raised to -time. Next, step number 3 is simplify using GEMDA. So, substitute muna natin. Present value is equal to 35,000. So, ma'am, bakit 35,000? Kasi yan yung future value natin. 1 plus, ano yung rate? 0.05 raised to -time. Ano yung time natin? 10 years. So, GEMDAS po tayo. Ano ang mauuna? Siyempre, yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, 1 plus 0.05. Copy natin muna to. So, 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05 raised to -10. O, GEMDAS, present value is equal to, syempre, dun muna tayo sa exponent. So, copy natin, 35,000 times 1.05 raised to -10. So, what is the answer? 0.6139 132535. Okay, now for the last one. Ano kaya ang present value natin? So, 35,000 multiplied by 0.6139132535. What will be the final answer? The final answer is 21,486.96 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, yung value ngayon, present ibig sabihin ngayon. So, yung value ngayon ng pera niya is 21,486.96. In 10 years, kapag yung money niya is compounded annually by the rate of 5%, magiging 35,000. So that is the final answer for example number 2. Okay, for example number 3. How much money should Joseph place in a time deposit bank that pays 2.3% compound annually so that he would have 50,000 pesos after 1 year? So step 1. Step 1 is given. Step 1 is given. Ano ba ang meron tayo? Una is the 2.3%. So we all know that it is the rate. 2.3% converted into decimal. What is the answer? 0.023. Next, 50,000 pesos. So, again, sabi dito, magkano daw yung dapat ilagay ni Joseph sa time deposit bank para after 1 year, magkaroon siya ng 50,000 that have a rate of 2.3%. So, ibig sabihin, yung 50,000 natin, siya yung future value. 50,000 pesos. Ayan. Siya yung gusto nating makuha, 50,000 after 1 year. So, future. Next is the time. Siyempre, itong 1 year. So, step number 2 is apply sa ating formula. So, this time, I will be using the first formula para makita natin yung comparison ng dalawa. So, our formula is present value is equal to the future value over 1 plus R or rate raised to time. So, syempre, substitute natin yung given doon sa formula. So, present value, ano ba yung future value nyo? 50,000 pesos. Ano yung inyong rate? Ang inyong rate ay 0.023 times or rather raised to time, which is 1. Okay, so simplify using GEMDAS. Siyempre, unahin natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So just copy 50,000. 1 plus 0.023, the answer is 1.023. Raised to 1. Okay, next one. Ano na yung susunod na gagawin natin? So, ilagay ko lang dito, continuation dito. Ayan. So, present value is equal to, ano na yung next step? 50,000, copy lang natin. Ang next step ay 1.023 raised to 1. So, the answer is 1.023 pa rin. Okay, last one. So, 50,000, pwede na natin ngayon ma-divide. 50,000 divided by 1.023. Ano ang final answer? The final answer is 48,875.86 pesos. So, that is the final answer. So, kung gusto mo daw, doon sa bangko na 2.3% ang rate, Gusto mo magkaroon ng 50,000 pesos pagkatapos ng isang taon, kailangan mong mag-deposit ng 48,875.86 pesos. So that is our final answer sa example number 3. So thank you everyone. So here is the list of references. So thank you and have a nice day.